Hello everyone. Today we are going to be talking about the formation of the Old Kingdoms of Egypt. The Old Kingdom of Egypt is involved in a pyramid of three kingdom periods, the other of which of these kingdoms are the Middle Kingdom and New Kingdom. The Old Kingdom's true period is the period of the 3rd dynasty to the 6th dynasty, from the years 2686 BC all the way to 2181 BC, with the start being King Djoser, the first king of the 3rd dynasty of the Old Kingdom, with himself moving their royal capital all the way to Memphis. Djoser began by forming the plans of a pyramid, the Step Pyramid in particular, and Memphis's necropolis, Saqqara. The Old Kingdom and its power reached a higher peak in the 4th dynasty. The first king, Sneferu, held territory all the way from Libya in the west, Sinai in the east, to Nubia all the way in the south. Sneferu also was weirdly obsessed with pyramids, which he commissioned the start of three great pyramids. The first was the Medium Pyramid, but abandoned it due to construction during construction. He then retried with that pyramid, while also beginning the Bent Pyramid at Bashur and then the Red Pyramid. Khufu, being the last king after the death of his father Sneferu, built and finished the Great Pyramids of Giza, which makes this really his only notable achievement. History between the end of the 4th and 5th dynasty are scarce, but it is notable that after Khufu's death, his sons Jeffrey and Khafre may have fought during this time. They also built the Great Sphinx of Giza. During the scarce period of Egyptian history, there were military expeditions into Canaan and Nubia, with Egyptian influence reaching all the way up to the Nile, all the way into modern Sudan. One of the last notable kings of this pyramid was Menkaure, who built the smallest of the three great pyramids of Giza. The 5th dynasty began with Userkaf, and was marked with extreme love for the love cult of the sun god Ra. This focus of love shift caused the pyramids to stop being built and more focus on sun temples and Abusira. Userkaf was passed on to his son Sahur, who commanded expeditions into Punt, a trade region into the Horn of Africa around modern-day Ethiopia. Egypt during this period began a huge love and interest into plenty of trade goods, such as ebony, gold, copper, myrrh, and frankincense. They traded with multiple regions, such as modern-day Lebanon and Eritrea. Ships during this era were uniquely not used with pegs, but instead relied on ropes to keep them assembled, which helped in direct trade between the Aegean neighbors of Egypt as well as Anatolia. The 6th dynasty was peaked during Pepi I and Merene I, who saw lots of trade, mining, and military campaigns occur, with aggressive campaigns into Nubia occurring during this time. The power of the pharaoh, however, during this era began to collapse, with more favorable control given to the nomarchs, who were just like today's modern governors. One of the last marks of the end of the Old Kingdom of Egypt was the death of Pepi II, which saw multiple civil wars mere decades after his death. The end of the Old Kingdom was the 22nd century drought in the region, which caused very little precipitation, which caused the Nile to not flood. This caused lots of famine and strife, and resulted into the end of the first Old Kingdom of Egypt and the beginning of the early First Intermediate period. The Old Kingdom of Egypt teaches us lots about central control during a kingdom, and how when this power slips away, power vacuums form, causing more and more autonomy in regions. The Old Kingdom of Egypt also teaches us about the great history of the pyramids, sphinx, many temples, and one of the largest trade networks we have ever seen in the ancient world.